right? So like one of my friends, she's dating, she's single, she's dating, and that's like her pet peeve now, because she, in her mind, she's thinking that the person is somewhere else doing something else or doing someone else, right? Because for her, it always seems to happen when she's asking a question that she really wants the answer to, and then there's a gap. And I asked her, I'm like, I wonder how much is of that is your perception of time. She's like, what do you mean? It's like watching like a kettle boil. Like if you were to watch it, it seems like forever, but if you put it on and you go, it seems like, oh my god, that was so quick. What are your thoughts?
Oh my God. So I struggle with some anxiety. And what I notice, especially as it relates to time, my urgency distorts time. And I became very aware of that once when I came to the house and I came from a gym. I actually went outside. I have a gym in my condominium, but I met a friend somewhere else. I was gonna come back home and I had a client at 3, but I was gonna have enough time. But I caught so much traffic that I got home at like 2:40. Now I have a thing about punctuality. I'm gonna have to give you context of this context. My parents are divorced, and growing up we would the three of us, because we have, so again, 3 kids from my parents marriage and my little brother that came 12 years later. So we would be downstairs waiting for my dad, but my dad worked several jobs and traffic, I mean, if you well, you're in Canada. I don't know how traffic is in Canada. People who live in Miami, we think traffic is bad. Dude, you have not been to Sao Paulo. Like, Sao Paulo traffic is horrible. Like, horrible. But we're kids, so we don't know all of that. But we would be waiting downstairs for my dad to arrive. Now, my parents divorced and it wasn't a friendly divorce. So we couldn't really go upstairs because we didn't want my mom to know that my dad hadn't arrived. And so, we would stay downstairs. So I have a thing with punctuality, right? I have a really big thing with punctuality. So now fast forward to this day. I 2:40. I have my client at 3. Mind you, this is a virtual therapy. All my setup is there. All I need to do is just connect. I already know the case for the client because I go through it in the morning. Beautiful. Okay. I eat something really quick. It's 2:50. I have 10 minutes. I'm walking to my Nespresso machine to make me coffee. And all I can think of is, please don't ask me to make your coffee. Please don't ask me to make your coffee, for my husband. My husband usually asks for espresso, which takes, say, 10 seconds. Mine is a lungo. Let's say it takes 25. A total of what, 35 seconds? Let's give it a full minute. My urgency made it feel as if that 1 minute was longer than the 10 minutes that I had. And that was the moment that I realized, oh my God, like my urgency distorts time. And my husband turns to me, is like, you never realized this before? I was like, wait, you saw it from outside, okay? You don't live in my brain. But yes, and becoming, I love that you said that to your friend, because it is very true, right? Sometimes we need to check, how urgent is my urgency, because our urgency does distort time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's exactly what's happening to her, because she needs that answer, right? And when you look at the time, it's like it's been a minute, it's been 5 minutes, it's been 10 minutes. Well, I asked this question. I'm like, understand, but life goes on. Even people who are jobless, sometimes they're the hardest people to get a hold of, right? So, what are maybe some tips that, like, if you were to speak to her, what are some tips that you can share with her to maybe reduce the anxiety that she would feel?
So it's funny. So let's say if she were here, there are a couple of things that I would want to know. One is, how come the automatic thought is that he may be doing someone else, right? Where does that come from? Is there a history of it? Has this person shown any reason to, right, to trigger those emotions? Because if the example I can give, like if I've never been cheated on before and my husband takes a call in a different room, I may not notice it at all or notice and not care. But if I've been cheated in the past, and let's say my husband is not the person who cheated on me, but I've been cheated on in the past and my husband takes a room in the other call, immediately I'm going to be like, huh? This is suspicious behavior. Now you need to prove to me that you're not doing what I think you're doing. Right. So I would want to know, like, does this person, has he or she ever given you reason for pause? Right. Or is this a trigger from preceding experiences? Like, do they deserve the benefit of the doubt? And two, I'd say there's something that I call a preamble in this book. And the preamble serves two functions. The first one is to tell you the intention of or what I need from you from our interaction. So let's say if I tell you, hey, I just need to vent, I do not want any feedback at this moment, I am not open to solutions. Are you open to just like me talking to you and venting? This way, you're not thinking about what do you want from me as we're talking. And usually people believe that we want their solutions. And then we get frustrated with their solutions and fight with them about their solutions, defending our problem because we're not open to it. Right. So the preamble is one function is that, and the other one is to soften the blow. If I have something difficult to say, I'll tell you what the intention behind it is. So maybe be able to express, hey, whenever we go for long pauses, I get a little bit triggered because of past experiences. So I'll let you know when I have something really important that I want to know. If we could not pause at that moment, I would really appreciate it. Right. And letting the other person know what is triggering you, because I cannot know what I don't know. And when I don't know, I'm just going to interpret things my way. So whomever she's texting with may just think, oh, I'll put the phone here. Let me go play video games or do whatever. But if I see a message saying, hey, it's really important before you go away, because I know we do this pauses, could you answer this question for me? Then I will be waiting for the question because now I know this is important to you before I go away. Does that make sense?
It does, because now you've given me an interesting perspective. Because when you're saying that, I thought about a time where I told someone that I need to talk to them about something, right? To me, I was just saying it because I actually needed to talk to them about something. And then we had the conversation. You know what they told me afterwards? They thought that because I was dating the person, they thought I was going to tell them that I was married and I had children. I was like, no. I'm like, why would you think that? And why would I be so calm to share that, right? Because now they've piqued my curiosity, right? Because it was like when we talked about earlier how when someone says something, now you begin to see differently. So now when I got that context, I started to replay the conversation. And then I saw her facial expressions because she was kind of looking at me like this with her head tilted up, like she was expecting the bad news. I don't know if that's like her bad news face. Like that's the side that gets it. So it's interesting that, like, and you raise a good point. So it's interesting how you can say something with the best of intentions, but the other person, because of their past experiences, it brings them exactly back to that moment, even though it has nothing to do with you. So is that maybe a lack of communication?
I think it's even, yes, it's a lack of communication, but I think it's even beyond that. Is sometimes we don't know how much is okay for us to share with other people. Um, and so we don't. Uh, right. And since we don't share, I love saying I cannot know what I don't know. But there's more to it. I cannot know when I don't know. And when I don't know, I act based on what I think I know.